Yo, what up y'all, IntraVenus here, back with another episode. Today we're taking a look at a very unique Pandora arcade console. This is a portable arcade that is built into its own display that has a rechargeable battery, and it comes with two PlayStation 2 style controllers. The box here has hardly anything written on it at all, which is a shame because this is actually a very cool device in my opinion. Let's take it out of this well-packaged box. Look at this here. This is the console, you can call it. This is the monitor. This is the guts. This is everything. The REGIIS Joy. This is really well packaged, actually. I'm pleasantly surprised. These Pandora arcade units come in a lot of styles. Usually they're either a box you attach to a TV and it has some controllers, or maybe it's actually an entire arcade stick that has all the guts into it and you just plug it into the TV. This has left some residue on my screen here. I hope that can come off. Look at that. That was some white powder or something down here. Anyhow, on the side you'll see we've got a memory card, volume setting, VGA, and HDMI. We got power and two USB ports. There's this little tiny kind of flimsy plastic kickstand on the back. Now down here I guess we have our controllers. So we get a user guide. That'll maybe be important. Comes with an HDMI cable, always welcome. Got a power brick. And then some, what is, oh, I guess this is a handle that is supposed to go on the top there so you can carry it around. Ah, how neat. Don't need that. Here are the controllers. Nicely wedged in. Wait. Oh, we got a little dongle here. Yep, a little dongle that I guess both these controllers connect to the same USB dongle there. Pretty cheap feeling PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 style controllers. They got the ABXY on there instead of, oh, it looks like it was already on. Oh, these take AAA batteries and the cover's missing here. Maybe it's inside. Yep, there it is. Alright, well that's a little unfortunate, but you know they cut costs by not having rechargeable batteries in there. You can get some rechargeable AAA batteries. There's that tiny dongle. I'm just going to put this on the side of the game monitor right now so I don't forget it and lose it. Alright y'all, so after having this for a couple days now here in the future after unboxing, I've got a lot of good things to say about this. This thing is pretty freaking sweet actually. So once you charge it up, the battery seems to last a really long time. You get the power switch back here, and these represent the charge status. So you get 25%, 50, 75%, 100. I'm telling you, I've been using this for at least a couple hours and it still says 100%. So the screen actually looks pretty nice right up in front of you, though it does have, it's got a built-in like anti-glare, so it's like a matte display finish. You can see some glare there, but you can't see my reflection. And then at the side, your viewing angles change a bit, but it is still very viewable. This thing can stand up flat on the bottom like so, or you could use the kickstand, which is flimsy like I said, but it works. It's just, you know, it doesn't really keep it that steady. It's fine if nobody's touching it. I don't know why you would be while you're playing it. You know, at my angle, I'm looking down at it, it looks fine from here. But depending on what you're doing, you might want to just do it up flat like this. You could even mount this on the wall. This thing is so cool because it is essentially an arcade that you could just set up anywhere. And you could get controllers that are shaped like an arcade stick. And I'm thinking about getting something like that, because though it's fine playing with these, you don't necessarily want to play arcade games using video game style controllers like PlayStation 2. It works great. But this thing you can set up in the yard. You could just play games in the yard if you wanted to, on your porch. You could bring it camping and set it up in your tent. You know, you could have it in your back seat. You could probably strap it to the back seat and have your kids playing it in the car. Take it on the beach. Take it on the airplane. You could take it anywhere you want, and all of a sudden, you know, you just turn it on, stand it up, and you got yourself a little portable arcade. This thing does have 28,000 games on it, but unfortunately a lot of those games are repeats. I'm not sure how many, and some of them are repeated in ways that you have like different versions of the same game. So one might have a built-in cheat with unlimited lives versus the other one is just the original game, stuff like that. The controllers, they're okay. I do have some AAA batteries in there. You turn them on, they seem to not really consume too much power, which is good. You just switch them on, they connect automatically once the USB is in there, and you can run both at the same time from the USB. So this thing has a really loud speaker, like really loud. It's not even up all the way, and that's me just going through the menus. So what we're gonna do here with this is I'm gonna run some tests, show you a bunch of gameplay. We're going to try the video out, though I don't think I have a VGA cord available. I'm sure the VGA works fine. The monitor I will be using to test it with does do VGA, but most people won't be doing that. You can, though. The VGA is the older style monitor plug there. And then we're also going to take a look at the file system. I want to see if you can drag and drop games on here, and you know, just put it in the computer. We're going to look at the file system, see what type of files we have on here, because this does have some PlayStation games on it. It has some Super Nintendo games on it. Has all the arcade games you can think of. It is freaking loaded. So let's go ahead and zoom in and play a little. But before we do that, I do want to cover the user guide just briefly. The user guide is actually for the board that you get inside of this. So this has just a generic, very, you know, low grade actual arcade board inside here. On the settings of this game, they are all built into this physical switch on the side, and that's because you can build this into a box where only, you know, the manager, the owner, can access the settings. You don't want anybody doing it because you can actually attach a coin op to this or a card swipe and charge people to play. And you could set the amount of coins, the cost, all that stuff. It's pretty wild. I don't know why you'd want to do that, except for maybe if you have a little bar and you don't think you'd get in trouble. I don't know if you can get in trouble for having all these ROMs on there, but I bought this on Amazon.com, and I'll leave a link in the description, though it seems like they're getting kind of hard to find. Let's zoom in and check out some games. It's got this Kratos splash screen here. It does not have any God of War built on here. In fact, when you get it, it does boot up with this like Street Fighter 4 animation, but you can turn that off in the settings. Let's turn this down a little bit further. It gets so loud. I should have picked a character that I know better. In all these games, you can press the select button for the most part. It changes in some of the games. One of these buttons might change which one does what. But you can pause any of the games using the built-in menu, which you can use save states, and load states, all that great stuff. You can exit out. You can also customize your button layout. So you go into settings and you do want to go ahead and reconfigure these buttons to how you would like them to be. And for the most part, they work fine. There are a few games that you might find, like they actually have Mario on here, Super Mario World, and you play that and you find that the run and jump buttons might be in the wrong places for you, so you might want to map the buttons based on something like that. But also, if you're in this menu, you can press this home mode button, and you can go to search, You got all your games divided into different sections, like 3D games. So many good shooters on here. I love shooters, and that's one of the main reasons I get something like this for. And it's got like Mars Matrix and Giga Wing. We've got all kinds of puzzle games too. You can play Pac-Man. Pretty much all the great arcade games. They have Killer Instinct on here, but it's the Super Nintendo one. I imagine there's a way to get Killer Instinct the arcade to run on here, but I don't know. I've heard that it takes a little bit more powerful console, or it takes a little more effort than just dragging and dropping the ROM. But it's got all the Metal Slugs, at least 6 of them. I think it's got X also and some other ones. The Metal Slug games are great. I think I already have a save on here. Let's see. We can go ahead and show you loading up a state. Because I was playing this. I had never played Metal Slug 6, I guess, because the characters are quite different than I remember, like playing some of the earlier ones. So let's see. Yep, we can load a state and pop right in here. See, I don't remember that cloud either. I don't know if that's a cheat that's built in here or it's just an item you get. I think it's an item or an ability. I just don't remember it in the game. I never played this one. And just so you guys know, I am playing all of this through the viewfinder because it's laying flat, obviously on the table facing up at the camera. So I can't look down at it properly, which most screens you wouldn't be able to play at that harsh of an angle. But this is really good. You know, I've covered a few arcade units on this channel before, and this one runs the best. I covered that P.O.L Kitty one, that's like a portable one with the flip-up screen, and this runs better than that. And it runs for about the same price too, sometimes cheaper, sometimes like $10 more or something, depending on where you find it. I've seen a couple different companies selling these, but they're also moving quick or being sold out. It's possible that when it comes to something like this, when they run out of stock, they will refresh it with maybe a newer set of screens, whatever they can get their hands on, is what I'm thinking. Because this is kind of like an arcade unit thrown together, I think, with probably an old screen that they took from some old products, some old new stock. And, you know, these controllers have been around forever, used for various things, and they've just kind of mashed together an affordable, portable arcade. You could easily take this out, rip out the guts, and build your own game cabinet out of this. You really could. So let's go ahead and check out a 3D game. How about Tekken 3? It does have a fan in there too, as you might have seen it on the picture of the board. I can hear the fan running. Well, that P.O.L Kitty Arcade did have a better speaker. It wasn't necessarily louder, but it was bassy. And if I could take that speaker and put it in here, well, that'd be pretty cool. So let's see here. We got Tekken 3. And this seems to be the PlayStation game. So, who do I usually like to be if I'm playing this? Probably Law. It's easy to fight with. We got the martial arts style. This thing is awesome, you guys. I mean, it's just... It seems like it's a simple concept maybe to some, and you're like, well, I mean, there's nothing that special here, but it's the idea of it all come together, the portability of it, and the fact that it works so well. I haven't had it freeze up once. This thing does not freeze up. It runs flawlessly. The only time it would freeze up is if you loaded up a ROM that wasn't working properly, which is a bad ROM file. I mean, it's handling this great. Yeah, I like it. Let's go ahead and see what else there is. I've got some things on recent play that I wanted to check out, so let's go through here and check it. This is a weird Sonic the Hedgehog hack. I thought it was going to be cool, but there's too many springboards bouncing you back and forth. Sparkman. Oh, The Simpsons. We got to try some Simpsons. And so most of these games you're going to coin up by pressing start, which is also how the start button is also there. So a lot of times when you're trying to continue, you'll get a credit when you press the start button. I mean, that's kind of a flaw, but at the same time, you want to play until you're done anyways, then you just exit. So does it really matter if you added another credit? I mean, if you're trying to be like flawless, beat it all in one credit, and you don't want to see another credit on here, I guess that would be annoying. You gotta be really good at these games to beat them with 1 credit, though. They're meant to destroy you, to take your money. Some of these old arcades, they were never even meant to beat. You know, they just get so hard to a point that you have to die. I love this game, though. Looks great on here, too, doesn't it? Let's turn it up a little bit, even though I'm going to stop. I'm probably going to get beat up here. I don't want to get too crazy loud to distort the mic, but that's loud. It's plenty loud. A funny thing is that the volume wheel, when you push it, you roll it up to make the volume go down. You roll it down to make the volume go up. I've seen that with some other cheap Chinese handhelds, so it's nothing big. So in this game, you're going to press select and get out of there. Let's see, what else do we have here? There's, you know, I looked up Pokemon on here, and there's all these games, they say they're Pokemon, but it's some weird ROM hack. It's a side-scroller, and it's just ridiculous. There are some cool arcade games I don't even know about, like Willow the Arcade. Oh my god, let's check out Alien 3, because I didn't even know that they made this game, and it's actually a light gun game, but you can control it using the floating, what do they call it, reticle or whatever. Where is it? Have I tried this many games? Oh, that's it. You always have to go back to your recents or whatever, otherwise it'll plop you right back in the list where you, the game you selected is actually in. That's another drawback here, is that it is a mishmash as far as the order. It's not an alphabetical order or anything, but you can do the search right next to this recent stuff, and you can pick whatever you want, you know. So we wanted to do Alien 3 The Gun. This game is crazy. I did not know they made this. If you're like me and you like the Alien movies, you probably went and saw Alien Romulus, which I think is worth a watch, you know. I'm not going to do any spoilers about that, but if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I think it's worth it. Let me know in the comments if you like the Alien movies. So it says pull trigger. I'm almost positive that if you got the right equipment, you could actually set this up for a light gun. Whatever type of gun which would be compatible for this game. Oops, this one, some of the games are lower volume than others too, so you got turn them up at different levels. I never knew this game existed. It is just wild. There's so much going on. You can explode everything. I never knew this game existed, but I would have loved to have played this with a light gun back in the day, in the 90s, when I assume this came out. So cool. I'm going to turn that back down because I know it's going to be louder for the next game, I'm sure. You know, this can go on and on. Let's go ahead and just scroll through this a bit. The cool thing is that we could really just come up with an idea, be like, you know what, I want to play NBA Jam. We'll type it into the search. And, oops. NBA. Like I said, I'm playing this through the viewfinder here, so bear with me. There's NBA Jam. It says NBA Jam Go. There's NBA Jam Tournament Edition. So some of these are going to be like the arcade version of the game. Some of them are going to be the console one. I don't know. Let's see what NBA Jam Go is. I don't think it's actually called NBA Jam Go. I'm not aware of that. This is the Sega version. This is made for Sega Genesis, I guess. Which is good. It's a good version. And some of these games also, you load up the ROM and it might have a different aspect ratio. I've played games where the arcade is actually squared off correctly. You have bars on the side because that was the way the screen was laid out in the original arcade. Some of them, they're going to stretch it out a little bit, but it actually looks pretty good. And, you know, you just got to kind of think of it as its own thing. You're playing an arcade. It's, I don't know. If this isn't the exact aspect ratio for Sega Genesis, which I don't think it is, but it looks pretty good. I don't really feel like starting a game right now, but I do like NBA Jam, so. Unfortunately, there's no NFL Blitz on here, though. I think you could handle it. I would have loved to see NFL Blitz. So, you know, you can go through here and there's all kinds of stuff to grab. So we could keep on playing and playing and playing. I could do another video where I just do gameplay on this if we want. On the Pandora 50S is what it's called within the system here. That's the name of the board. That's what it says in the manual. But let's go ahead and do a video test. So I'm going to connect this HDMI cable they gave me. So we got a brand new HDMI cable, which, you know, most of us at this point probably have 10 floating around somewhere because everything we get comes with one and they all use the same cable. Hey, when I was a kid, there was times when you had proprietary video cables for everything. It wasn't that long ago. So we got our little port here on the side. Let's jam that in there. Not jam, we'll just slightly stick her in there. And then what I have over here is my own, this guy. And we're going to test it on this. You know, there's no reason for you to play it on an even smaller screen. But it's worth a try. We want to see what happens here. I don't see anything happening here, actually. That's odd. Maybe there's a setting to do video out. Let's see, we got our button over here. Welcome to the settings menu. You know, I'm not really seeing anything in here. Let's see the game setting. Oh, that's where you can change your difficulty and lives you start out with the games. Actually very cool. I did not want to change that. Display games, you could choose which games to display. Hey, that's actually very handy. So you could just make some of these not visible. Put a little red X next to them. I like that. Let's go to system configuration, maybe. See, this is where you can set it up to charge people to play. Set that to coin. It won't let you play unless you insert a coin, which actually involves, you know, connecting to a coin line in the ground inside the system and tapping those connections together. Select game mode. What the heck is this? I don't know. Quality optimization. Yeah, I don't see anything that shows how to do the video out. Bookkeeping. Maybe I'm just missing something here. Well, maybe it gave us a bad HDMI cable, so I'm going to try my own HDMI cable. Yeah, you know what? I don't know. It's there's something I'm not getting here. Maybe the HDMI out is for a more permanent option. There is a thing in the settings where it says that you can turn it on holding the settings button and it'll cycle through display modes. I think those are like display ratios or something, different configurations, but I haven't tried that and I don't really want to mess with that because, you know, I don't want to get it stuck in the wrong display or all of a sudden switch to Chinese and I can't read what's going on. So let's just say it failed the video test, unfortunately. Yeah, you know, I'm looking at the settings here. There's even an anomaly diagnostics. It says here, if there's no image signal, check to see if the connection's alright. Try a different cable. I tried that. I don't know. It seemed to react to the video display getting connected because it blacked out for a second, turned back on. Who knows? The last thing we need to do is check out the file system. Now, cool thing about this is you can just turn it off whenever you want with that switch. You don't need to do anything crazy. And then we just pop this out. It's got a very generic 32 gigabyte memory card, so that's something I'm going to want to replace, probably. I'll flash that over. Alright, here we are in the memory card. It's just called No Name. At the top here, I see some AVI files, and it says demo at the beginning. That has got to be the video that plays at the beginning that I mentioned. That's like a Street Fighter 4 style video. It's 8.3 megabits. You could probably make your own AVI, put it in there. Got some text files, a movies folder, that's interesting. Music. In music, we have bg.mp3, and if I play this file, I guarantee you that it's going to play some classical music with like some horns. That is the music that plays in the background of the settings menu on the device. Yep. Yeah, that's it. So if I were to put my own music in here, I could replace this. Maybe I'd want to call it bg.mp3. That's at least how I'd start. And I imagine I could have my own music, whatever I want, playing in the menu of the system of the game. That's pretty cool. It might tell you how to do that in the README text here, but I'm not going to try it. We got a ROMs folder that's empty. A ROMs folder, Final Burn Alpha 2012, that's empty, seemingly. That's Famicom, empty. MAME 2003. Mega Drive, PlayStation, Super Famicom, they all appear to be empty. And then this one, ROMs SP, which has bin files, and these look, actually these all look like the PlayStation games. These, see this World War Army Man, that's a PlayStation game, .bin. These are all, at least the .bin with the Qs and stuff, versions of the PlayStation ROMs. I don't know, I think that might be all the PlayStation games that are on there probably. For some reason these are the only viewable ROMs. The rest I think are actually hidden in the system. You probably have to go through a greater lengths to find and access and add ROMs to this. Similar to the way that PAL Kitty Arcade was that I reviewed recently. You're gonna have to do something a little more strenuous to get in there. It looks like I might be able to drag and drop maybe NFL Blitz in there though for the PlayStation, so that's cool. Alright y'all, okay, so I think we've probably covered pretty much everything with this. It was very interesting to take a peek inside the file system. It looks like I could add PlayStation games to this, which it seems to be able to handle just fine. It's just the fact that I don't want to accidentally break it or mess up that cheap memory card. I'm going to want to flash that first before I try dragging and dropping anything. And then I'll probably try adding my own background music and even my own intro video to this cool little portable arcade. What do y'all think about this? Have you got one of these? Have you seen it? Would you want one? I'll leave you some links where you can try to find one. I don't know if you can get it or not, but I think it's worth the money. It's pretty fun. I spent like $75 on this. They sell between that and like 100. Depends on what you get. I heard there's also a version that doesn't have the battery. It always has to be plugged in. I recommend springing for the battery because that's really what makes this unique. But, you know, it's up to you. I think this could be fun to tinker with. I might make some more videos on it. If you want to see them, let me know in the comments and we can cover like customizing it and more gameplay. Anyways, thanks so much for sticking around to the end of the episode. I really appreciate it. This has been a longer one, and hit the like button and subscribe if you're not already. That really helps me out, and I've got a lot more coming, so until next time, I'll catch you on the next episode. Peace out.
It was just childhood, we were all there together, and in denial would play like it was forever. And in the tall woods, we'd stay out of the weather like it was all good. Every day we made it for pleasure, we were saying whatever came to our minds, plain and simple like a tether ball reaching the sky. We were taking new heights on the swing while it was making us fly. Beat the king of the hill and everything will be fine. The thrill of everything we would find, the innocence of a child.